Hello fellow modelers, Bruce here. I guess no list of old kit manufacturers would be complete in HO scale. And although I think that Gloor Craft also had quite a few N scale offerings. Without talking about Gloor Craft Models, not sure when they started production or when they ended. My guess would be they started sometime in the late 70s and ended sometime in the 1990s, but that's just a guess. I will say that all the kits I have that have dates on the plans, and that's quite a few kits, are all dated in the mid-1980s. But they were extremely prolific. It's hard for me to believe that they issued the number of kits that they did if they were only in existence for a few years in the mid-80s. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they started earlier than that date that I just gave you, the mid-80s, and continued beyond that. Although I've seen other color boxes, predominantly you got these kind of tannish gold boxes. Some of them had pictures of the model on it, some did not. Most of them had a description on the end. This is Byron's Farm Supply Kit 409 in HO scale, and they do have a picture of the farm supply store on there. This is one of their larger structures. Whether it's a large structure or a small structure, what you find inside is pretty much all the same. This has metal castings for the windows and doors, additional metal castings for barrels and that kind of stuff for around the farm supply, plenty of strip wood and some scribe siding, cardstock for things like subroofs. And the instructions were always a print sheet or two. This is a rather large sheet of paper with instructions on both sides, and then of course accompanying drawings, very good drawings actually, full-size drawings, which will give you an idea of the size of this structure. Showing all the window openings and door openings, kind of showing you a blowout of how to construct the overhang on the deck and the decking itself. And then the schematics actually showing you the left end, front wall size, platform, etc. And this one is dated 1284. So that's a typical Gloor Craft. Wood kits, some cardstock, some metal castings, lots of structures. This one, no picture, but it's a store and warehouse. It's their kit 408. It just preceded the big one I just showed you. Let me just open the one that'll show you a picture of the structure itself. So there you got the store and the warehouse. So the store and warehouse all in one. Very nice structure. Things like that still exist today when you go into little towns around the United States. So there's two of their larger kits. This is an odd-shaped box for them. It's the same as their smaller boxes, but just elongated. It was a house. They're calling it an old-style house. You might think of it as a big old farmhouse. I did build this one. It's well packed away. I looked for it, found it, but it's buried under a second layer, so I didn't want to disturb it. But I have pictures, and I'll append a picture or two to the video. But there, that's the house. Good size house, and rear view, front view, and I'll show you some pictures attached to this video. So I have built a few of the Gloor Craft kits, and the house was one of them. Another one was their freight house, which if you've seen some of my other videos, you've seen. This is made up as the Bangor Slate freight house. I did downsize it. It was considerably longer. as designed, and I just shortened it. If I recall, that's the only change I made. But a very nice kit, good instructions. Then they had a whole series of kits that were Main Street USA series. So it was, let's see if they have the overview in here. Yes, they do. And again, this is circa 1985-1986. It was a new series, Main Street structures. So here's a whole list of them. Hardware store, post office, 5 and 10, a bank, a drugstore, an insurance agency, a barber shop, a food market, etc. And they were all packaged in kit boxes this size. So if you see these a lot on eBay, individual ones. I happened to, many years ago, come across a guy who had basically the whole set, and I bought them in one fell swoop. So yeah, I got plenty of these on the shelf, and I have a couple of them built. And beyond their structures, and again, I think they had a side by side a whole lot of end scale structures. They were also prolific in issuing rolling stock kits made out of wood. And now the two I have are narrow gauge, HON3. This is a East Broadtop model of a 3-bay hopper, and this one here is an East Broadtop caboose. But they had plenty of standard gauge as well as narrow gauge. Alrighty, this is me breaking into my own video with just a quick comment on one of my pet peeves. I showed you this drawing of the old-fashioned house, or old-styled house, from Gloor Craft a few minutes ago. Do you notice anything about the front view and the rear view? Yeah, that's right. No provision for a foundation. Now, unless you are building a little shed, and even a lot of sheds have little foundations, you need some kind of foundation under your house. You're not going to have a house sitting right on the ground. So at the end of my comments here, I'm going to show you the photographs, or a couple photographs of this house, and you will see that I put a foundation under it. I used, there's lots of things you could have done, but I used some strip wood, and then I took a wood burning tool and cut the blocks into it with the wood burning tool. I did a video on that, and I will put a link in the description of this video to that video. So, okay, when I'm done now and we're going to return to the normal broadcast here, I will show you a couple of photos of the house and then resume with the video. Since I'm in the middle of the video, I'll ask you now, if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. All right, on with the video. So if you go to eBay and enter Gloor Craft, you're going to get flooded with kits on the used market from them. And they're, depending on the size of the kit, I'm not talking about rolling stock now, but the structures, $35 to $50 kind of is the range for most of their kits. As always, I urge you to just be patient if you go onto that market and look for one that has buy now, and look for one that says make an offer if you want to try out a Gloor Craft kit. And even though I have quite a few on the shelf, when I see one come up that is at a price that's, it's just kind of hard to resist, I toss in a bid or an offer. And let's see what we got here. This is eBay by way of Kentucky this time. So let's see what I got here. In terms of the rolling stock, I have built a number of the old wooden rolling stock kits, and yeah, it's just fun to do some of those old things. This is Rogers Plumbing and Heating Supply, kit number 433. Let's see if they have a date on that. It's just a false front store that would look at home on either my Jersey Highlands Railroad or the Slate Run. Lots of metal castings for windows and doors, a package of scribe siding, some strip wood, cardstock, some signage. They had zip codes, so that's, we knew that because it's in the 80s. Oak Harbor, Ohio. Let's see what they have to say. It has a tip to file the bottom of the door casting before painting. So I guess it was a little bit too big for the opening. And let's see, this has a date of 8/4/87. So a little bit further down the line than the other kits that I showed you. Here's the various views again, the rear view, left side, front view, right side, and so forth. And all of them were either drawn or approved by S.R. Gloor, who was the owner of the company. It was in the time of fractional lumber, so they have them color-coded, 1/32 by 5/64, 1/32 by 1/8, 32nd by 9/32, etc. So fractional lumber, not scale, HO scale lumber. So that's the latest Gloor Craft purchase that I've made, and or that purchase that I've made. I haven't made the structure yet. Oh, they also have O-scale, because there's an O-scale photo here too. So I might be wrong about the N scale. Maybe it was O-scale and HO scale, or maybe it was all three. If you happen to know, you can leave a comment below the video. So there's another very prolific producer of kits for our modeling. I built a couple. I can recommend them if you like to build in wood, certainly. And the ones that I built, you can see they stand up fairly well by today's standards. So, yeah, not laser cut, but and the castings are white metal instead of plastic, but still look pretty darn good when made up. Well, that's it for this video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. I'll be talking to you soon, but in the meantime, happy modeling.